three.
Johnny Walker mashing up against control. His shot. Bruce score. They score. They tie the game up 2-2.
He drives out for Robbie Ryan. Her three right on the money. This is Taya Hansen for three. Other side of the rim with a pretty reverse.
Wow.
5 seconds to go. Find Hawk. Hawk spins. It rolls off. And Arizona State wins it. Edward pulls off. And buries the block.
Daniels takes the shot for Derby. What is up, everybody? Happy Tuesday here on Pitchfork Lunch. I am Michael Caratanudo at Diablo00 on X, the artist formerly known as the Twitter, is where you can find the show. Also, YouTube, Instagram. Today we are doing the first on IG Live as they added it here to StreamYard, and I did a few tests yesterday. Sorry if you saw some of those. It was just me kind of, as some of you would say, just kind of babbling on. But unfortunately, I figured out how not to have an echo sound, because if I couldn't figure out how to do that, even though they explained it, they kind of didn't explain where to hit the right spot. But nonetheless, we are live on Instagram. You can also subscribe and live on YouTube, but we can also subscribe to the YouTube channel. Pitchfork Lunchers, you know this. I say it every day. All the other shows, the last, this is episode 74. Woohoo. But if you go to my YouTube channel, all the awesome interviews you've missed, and again, there have been quite a few. So like I always say, coaches, players, insiders, the voice of the Sun Devils, former coaches, it's all been here. And soon to get some Hall of Famers too, again. And my background, a lot of you know, obviously I covered the junior college sports for years here in Maricopa, the Maricopa junior colleges. And yes, they got rid of football, which that's a whole nother story for another time. But again, all that coming up. So go to the YouTube channel. You can go to my YouTube channel. It's at M as in Michael, V as in Victory, C as in Cat 005 on YouTube, at MVC005 on YouTube. Subscribe. Again, a lot there. So much more to come. But again, you can check this out live on the YouTube channel, on X, and on IG as well. So it is Tuesday. The weather's cooling down finally. It's 1 week until less than 1 week now, obviously, until jolly old Saint Nick comes flying around and visits the kiddos and everybody. So yes, 1 week, less than 1 week till Christmas. Again, hope everybody's enjoying the holiday season. And easier said than done, I know. And when but try not to get. Let's not get stressed out. Let's embrace it. The holiday season. By the way, kudos to people. Every year you see it, and there's people that have traditions of doing it. people have traditions of doing it, lights, how they decorate their houses. And it's just awesome. How a lot of people again have the tradition of doing that, and the way they do it. And again, just like I said, um but yeah, very festive at this time of year. And again, yes, everybody's got either going out of town to see family coming in town. And like I always used to say, try and enjoy it. Although, I remember as a kid, my mom making us clean always making us clean, which is fine. Obviously, you want things to be clean. But funny story, I used to just chuck everything under my bed when people were coming. And not that there was a ton there, because mom wouldn't let that happen. But yeah, even like how we had to dust things and clean. And she did make it a little more stressful at times. But as a kid, cleaning is stressful. You don't have to cook, you don't do anything else, but cleaning, your room and stuff like that. But anyway, awesome holiday time of season, and I love this time of year too. Yes, bowl season is going on. UCLA got a win the other day in the LA Bowl. They had to just drive a little bit further down the freeway to get to SoFi and beat Boise State as they did. So Pac-12 rocking it there. In Sun Devil country, as you know, yes, unfortunately, they weren't going to go to a self-imposed bowl ban, although had they, were able to qualify for a bowl, that would have been kind of a bummer. But the recruiting season, obviously, signing is tomorrow, and I've talked to you about. We've gone over a lot of the transfer portal guys. Obviously, they're already committed, and these high school kids, quite a few of these high school kids that Coach Dillingham and his staff have just again been, as they say, pounding the pavement. But as has every coaching staff. But I guess the only advantage, which again I don't see many too, and other staffs are doing it too and getting players to commit, but not being in a bowl game. You're able just to get out and, yes, obviously reconfirm with commits. Well, transfer portal is different. Obviously, that's a late start, as we all know. But Sun Devils has done a hell of a job. I know I told you Chris Carbon, they posted that with Raleek Brown, the transfer from USC, committing to ASU. He brought ASU's transfer portal ranking up to the number 4 transfer portal team in the country recruiting wise for ASU. They have that on 24/7 Sports. So after tomorrow, when everything is inked, again, starting at 6 a.m. So when I come on tomorrow, there will have been a lot inked. And we'll see what happens. But yeah, a lot of guys, they got the number 1 and number 5 high school recruits out of the state of Oregon. And like I read yesterday to you, showing on X that Chris Cartman saying he doesn't think that's, ever happened, getting, 2 out of the state of Oregon, 1, let alone 2. So look, huge things are coming up. Yes, it was another 3-9 season. Yes, they did lose quite a few guys. I am bummed. I'm bummed, guys they lost. I mean, Jordan Clark went to Notre Dame. Jalen Conyers is at Texas Tech. BJ Green, who just had, again, such a phenomenal season. He transferred up to UW, obviously a team playing in the college football playoff. And, all just, again, great guys, be around throughout the year with their time, just conversations. Actually had during practice one day, in passing, I was walking over to a different position group, and Jordan Clark just stopped me because I really had a Hogwarts alum shirt on, because a lot of yes, not even because of the Mike Leach. And I hope you guys did check that out. You know what? For the holidays, I'm going to find that and I'm going to play rest in peace again, the great Mike Leach. But if you haven't seen the interview he gave about the battle of the Pac-12 mascots, so he's asking the question. Yes, he did have a ton of off the wall interviews, but like Coach Dillingham said, and any coaches that have talked about him, the guy was an offensive just genius. Um, not too stubborn and willing, develop things. And yeah, I mean, if it works, of course you're not going to be too stubborn. You'll expand. But for the holidays at some point during this holiday season, I will find the Mike Leach Pac-12 mascot interview or the question. I mean, it wasn't just a whole interview. It was a question about the battle of the Pac-12 mascots. And, reporters obviously learned to ask him questions like that to get, again, he would give thoughtful answers, and you can tell he thought this one out. But yeah, I mean, you look at what they've done in the transfer portal, and you did get a few O linemen in which you needed, but in the secondary, you added, like I said, with Jordan Clark leaving or transferring, but also Chris Edmonds and Ro Torrance going to the NFL draft. Two young men that I expect to catch on with teams. Well, A, be drafted, but B, I think will do very, very well. I mean, you can't coach, a 6'2" corner that obviously can run with guys, and with the, there was quite a few scouts, the NFL teams that send scouts to college practices. It's not just that they're at games on Saturdays, but during the week they are here. And there was a ton of scouts I know looking and intrigued, obviously, by Ro Torrance, and I mean what Chris Edmonds can do at the safety, not even obviously yes in coverage, but coming down as well too. And Ro Torrance, I mean, covering guys, and can he be that number one corner? Absolutely, number one, number two corner. It's just, I think his flexibility to guard, the longer receivers, and he showed obviously a huge aptitude for that. So with Edmonds and Torrance, entering the NFL draft, Jordan Clark transfers. Yes, we do get Xavier Alford back, who his appeal wasn't approved last year, and so yeah, his appeal wasn't approved last year, and he had to sit out, obviously, and Jake Smith too in the receiver room. Losing somebody like a Jalen Conyers, that's obviously at the tight end position, and while the Devils Hellcat formation quarterback at times, but the what you lose from a possible reception standpoint, what you lose from that, and that, but you get somebody like a Jake Smith that his waiver wasn't approved last year either. And I mean, you look at what the team has to do, and yeah, you got improved from 3-9, but you're bringing guys in that got to practice all this year. Again, they couldn't play, but them being there, they practiced, and yeah, they were on scout team, but again, trying to, make the offense or the defense better. So, I mean, that's huge too. When you look at who they're getting, yes, they were already here, but absolutely huge. So transfer portal excitement, absolutely. Get to that more a little bit later. Also, we have men's and women's hoops playing tomorrow. And yes, I shall be out there. Nothing like last minute confirmation, but it doesn't matter because it's confirmation. So I will be out there at the Jerry Colangelo Hall of Fame series as the women get set to take on Fresno State. And the men will play Northwestern. The men will play Northwestern after, again, back-to-back losses to USD and to TCU. And they get to take on a Northwestern team and the Devils 6-4 overall, still 5-0 at home, but 1-3 now on neutral sites and 0-1 in away games. That was at USD. And yeah, the 79-59 loss, I talked about it, to TCU. It started out really well, and TCU again just able to make some stops, make some adjustments. ASU made adjustments too, but TCU, I mean, again, you're hitting hoops, and then at times you're not getting good shots, and maybe as players, and especially in basketball, it's always the one sport I've said, and for a fan, believe me, when you're watching as a fan, it's frustrating. You're like, coaches and players always talk about, shot quality. And yeah, when sometimes the shot clock's running down, when the shot clock's running down, not if the shot clock's running down and it's late, or obviously, you're trying to get off a shot before the quarter ends. And, at that point, somebody might chuck a shot that you normally wouldn't. Fans are like, okay, obviously clock running down. We see why. You understand that. But, settling for, threes and letting not moving the ball and the shot clock running down quickly. And I'm not saying that's what Ace is doing. I'm just saying at times when team gets frustrated, it's hard not to force a three and start chucking threes and forcing shots, especially in today's game. And I'm not saying that's ASU. I mean, I think at points of the TCU game in the second half, of course, when they're trying to again close that gap and make a run. Yeah, you want to get to the hoop, but some threes did go up, and I know fans get frustrated. Like, oh, you talk about quality of shots and shot selection. Like, why are you doing this? Well, again, being behind doesn't help, and a lot of times, what the defense is doing, if they adjust and something's working, and you're not able to, take advantage of it, then sometimes that's it's going to be the shots that you have, and it's not going to be even from maybe your favorite spot on the floor. So again, it's that give take, but a game like that, you want to get back on the court somewhat quickly, and they will be, like I said, taking on Northwestern, who is they are I think they've played in this before. They're the number 25 team in the country, by the way. And they in the Big Ten, but so far this year they are 8-2 overall. They're 1-0 in conference. They've only lost one home game. Yeah, they're 8-2 overall, 1-0 in conference, 6-1 at home, 1-0 away, 1-1 on neutral sites. Let's see. Well, they beat Dayton 71-66. Dayton's got not bad. They played Western Michigan, held on to beat them 63-59. They beat Rhode Island 72-61. They lost to Mississippi State, which that's a common opponent because ASU also lost to Mississippi State, but they lost 66-57 to the Bulldogs, and then they beat Northern Illinois. They beat number 1 Purdue. Yeah, that game. Oh, they took Purdue. Well, Purdue was number 1 at the time, but it went to overtime, and Northwestern did get the win, 92-88. At home, it was on their court, but nonetheless, they they got that victory, and they took down number 1 Purdue at the time, and then they followed up with wins against Detroit Mercy. They lost to Chicago State 75-73. So, you build some obviously some good credits, a huge win against Purdue. We'll see what they do against them next time. But yeah, they lost to Chicago State, and then they beat DePaul after that, and now just this past Saturday when ASU played as well, and then Wednesday here tomorrow at Footprint Center at 7:30. They will play 7:30 Central Time. That's 6:30 here in Arizona. But yeah, 6:30 local time. They will take on ASU. So, by the way, it's going to be on ESPN too, for those that don't know. But yeah, Northwestern said an odd loss to Chicago State, Mississippi State, I guess you could see. But yeah, I mean, to beat number 1 Purdue at the time, that's a huge quad 1 win for them. But yeah, we'll get into that a little bit later. And then, like I said, on the women's side, they play Fresno State, and they're coming off, obviously, the tough Territorial Cup loss to that team down south. We covered that yesterday. So, but they can take on Fresno State, and, we'll see how they adjust. Got to stay out of foul trouble. We all know that. I mean, I know people say it when coaches say that, it overstates the obvious. And in this day and age, and how refs are calling a game, and believe me, there's been head scratchers many, many a times for me as they certain things are called, and then all of a sudden something's not called, and then you see something a few plays later, and it's like not even as egregious as the last call. Kind of drives. I know. Again, shout out to my brother Eric Wilson. If you've known us, and again, we've been friends for 18 years. It's and doing the sports arena on Monday nights, which he was happy during the show, but the Eagles did lose again after the show. So just wanted to shout that out there. But yeah, I mean, consistency with refs and foul calls. If and it's I think that's the most frustrating. Yes, of course, every fan of every team, of their own team, wants every single little foul call. And yes, you're not going to, I mean, every ticky-tack call, that would be insane. And I know when I say ticky-tack, you're like, Mike, you're the one that says be consistent. If it's a foul, it's a foul. Yes, I get it. But there are certain things that, yes, they have to weigh it. But when you see it, something not get called, and then something a lot softer get called, that's where we as fanatics and fans go just absolutely mad, right? So, but nonetheless, ladies got to stay out of foul trouble and get out in transition, But I'll talk more about that as we go on. And again, some other news and notes going on. I'm going to step aside real quick, though. When we get back, though, I will dive into the, again, just update on the transfer portal and commits that are coming to ASU. But it looks like it's going to be a very nice early signing class, and quite a few guys. Obviously, the transfer portal guys will be here for spring ball, but quite a few of these guys, it looks like, and we'll find out more, are going to be here for spring ball, these high school kids. So again, like I said, getting used to camps and everything. But we'll step aside, and we'll talk transfer portal on the other side here on Pitchfork Lunch.
Audio
I just figured I'd show that, from obviously fall practice, and Xavier Guillory again, transfer wide receiver, and man, he'll he'll be back again. He got a little banged up, and just again what he can do. But yeah, figured to show you some stuff from out there. As again, we do talk. I will talk transfer portal. Just to remind everybody again, tomorrow is early signing day, so starting very early. If you follow me on X at Diablo00, again, you'll see a lot of guys posting their letters of intent signing. I will again share that and get that all out there. You will have info, but I mean, as per transfer portal guys, and again, as for transfer portal guys, we have again. There's been quite a few that have signed. So just to remind you, who has signed in the transfer portal. Again, Raleek Brown, the running back, receiver, athlete from USC, phenomenal talent. And he's, SC's going to the, and like I said, it's USC and UCLA. I mean, you're going to the Big Ten. A lot of these players, yes, you're going to, like I always say, you're playing for a coach. The campus has to matter, and curriculum wise, what you want to major in, and your focus there definitely has to matter. But you're still going to play a sport for a coach and a staff that fits you, that recruited you, that you felt you had made that organically made that connection, to say the least. And yes, it's recruiting, they want you, but as players, you understand. But going to the Big Ten, I mean, a lot of these players now playing, like I said, playing a conference game 3,500 miles away. If you're USC, 3,800 miles away in Piscataway, New Jersey, at Rutgers, like, I mean, yes, SC fans, you'll travel, and yeah, well, they want to go to, a Penn State, and obviously, the Big House, the Horseshoe, like Nebraska. I know, like, it'll bring them out, but yeah, I mean, you really, a non-conference game in Minnesota at Maryland, like, again, it's or not a conference game. So a lot of these kids, you look at it this way too, like wanting to be at least close for their families. And yeah, maybe not you understand, in non-conference. And I mean, this actually could be, backwards. They're non-conference games. They will stay close to home. When they can, but they're conference games. So yeah, I mean, and look, people can say the same thing. ASU going to the Big 12, a conference game, obviously Cincinnati joined the Big 12, UCF, West Virginia, like those conference games. It's like, why didn't you join the Mountain West? Like, and then again, from a financial standpoint, I'm not saying that was an opportunity, but I'm just saying from a fan standpoint, when you think of it, like, yeah, you get to go to some awesome, new sites. Like, yeah, you're in Manhattan, Kansas, Lawrence, Kansas. Obviously, in Stillwater for Oklahoma State, Lubbock to go to, Texas Tech. Same thing to go to, TCU. I don't have to worry about, obviously, Texas is going to the SEC, A&M's in the SEC, but Baylor as well. And so you have, Houston. So you have, like, yeah, it's not too bad. But then you think, okay, so Utah and Colorado, well, okay, those are normal conference games that are closer. And, you add BYU and obviously that, team down south. So yeah, those are there, BYU again, going into Provo. But yeah, I mean, it's again, there's nothing wrong with evolving sports. And obviously, like we say, like technology and, pads, helmets, all that stuff. And, I understand yeah, you want to have a conference, and yes, you can expand. But in ruining traditions, like, to me, that's the biggest joke, because you flat out, you flat out just ruin traditions. But anyway, tangent. So yeah, transfer wise, we're leaked ground from USC. They also got safety Kamari Wilson. I want to say from Florida, safety transferred, and then quarterback Sam Levitt from Michigan State made big waves when he picked ASU. And I mean, again, Shaden Rashada going nowhere, so we'll see how the competition goes. And then they got tight ends Marcuston Douglas from Florida State and Cameron Harpool from San Diego State. Cornerback wise, they got Ladderance Welch from LSU, Javen Robinson from Washington State as well. And then linebacker wise, oh, well, yeah, I already said that. And they got safety Kamari Wilson. Linebacker wise, Jordan Crook from Arkansas and Zayas Fiasu, pardon me, from San Diego State. And then defensive line wise, they got Justin Woodley from Cincinnati, JP Dieter from Purdue. And then offensive line wise, they got Joey Sua from Arkansas and then Issei Matautia from New Mexico. So that, as of now, again, those are your transfer portal guys with experience. They'll obviously be here for spring ball. But Chris Johnson, the second, like I said, who is from Laredo, Texas. He again, they won a state championship, and he again has a counter now. 2 days now till he's actually 1 day till he's a Sun Devil. High school wise, again, that's huge. And then they got a local kid, Caden Hackle from Liberty, and you know he's a 6'5", 285-pound guard and tackle offensively. Yeah, 6'5", 285, and he's just graduating high school. But he has bench up at 315, squat at 515, power clean 275. But yeah, he says he's committed to ASU. You know, staying in state, staying home, and that is that's huge. And again, you get a guy like a Chris Johnson, the second Hackle, commits as well, and then Jason Brown as well. This young man is a running back from Washington State. And he is now Jason Brown Jr., pardon me. So again, another talented running back coming in, and Coach Iguano just has, again, whether it's transfer portal working with these guys or whether it's transfer portal working with these guys or guys they brought in and developed. And I mean, we've seen Coach do that, and you know how these running backs have grown. I mean, you go back to when with Eno Benjamin and how he grew. Obviously very talented, but Coach Iguano, the way he could use him. And then you get a guy like Rashard White, who is blossoming now for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. But running backs wise, Coach has been able to identify and bring those guys in. And yeah, you have a few guys in in the backfield, and Scatterby will be back, which is awesome. DeCarlos Brooks. I mean, again, getting more weapons on the field is just is huge. To overstate the obvious, right? But yeah, for Jason Brown Jr., very excited to see what this young man what this young man can do and obviously contribute in the backfield. Um, but I mean, look, they've done again such a great job, and those guys like I talked about, you do need to mix up the secondary. Yes, you need to have the dogs up front, but like Coach Dillingham said all year about Coach Ward's defense, like if you're a rush end, like you want to come here. And once again, I I how can you not second that? I mean, look, when BJ Green, was played pretty much the whole season. Clayton Smith got banged up a little bit, but Prince Dorba, how he grew as well, and but what they were able to do on the defensive line front, and like I said, that was a bright spot. And yeah, there was a Utah game which was tough. There was obviously the you know rivalry game within Arizona in the end, which was very tough. But defensively, if you're that kind of end, you can shine here. Play within the system. Do your 111, like they always say. Do your 111th, and develop that obviously trust and camaraderie, chemistry with the guys next to you on the defensive line. So it's huge. But yeah, also recruit wise, Terrell Kim, like I said, the number 5 player in Oregon, and Jaden Fortier, the tight end, number 1 in Oregon, both coming down to ASU. And again, you think Oregon going to the Big Ten as well. Like, do they really want to have a non-conference game in Happy Valley? I mean, yeah, like at a conference, great, you go there, but like, and people say, well, what's the difference? Well, when most of your conference games are, you know, I mean, again, and I'm sure Oregon was definitely one of the young man, but and even there in Eugene, but if you're, a lot of your conference games are, an hour flight, hour and a half, maybe, 2 hours to get somewhere. And now you're going 4.5 hours across, 5 hours across the country. So, and again, I think, look, not that people say, oh, it's not like they're, little, 5, 6, 7, 8-year-old kids where it's like, oh, well, they go far, Yeah, it's not that, but they're thinking of, where they can play, what fits them the best, how's the coaching staff going to fit them, get to the next level, all the stuff I've talked about. But at the same time, they're family too. Like, it's going to be tough for family. Yeah, they can come to home games if they, stay there, and home games are great. But going on the road, yeah, I mean, would they like to go to, Happy Valley, go to Penn State, go to the Big House, Michigan, Ohio State? And granted, not every single obviously conference game, as we know, they're going to be playing. It's not going to be on the road, but again, geographically, it's just it's there's geographic rivals, and again, not everybody in a region is a rival, but within the Pac-12 conference, I mean, what they developed throughout the 108-year history of it is one thing. But yeah, hey, I'll take 1-5 from the state of Oregon, and I mean, for Terrell Kim, I mean, this kid's 6'3", 362 pounds, and he's interior offensive lineman and a defensive lineman. He wrestles and he runs track and field. And again, watching when I knew they were not first, but a little bit after they were talking to him, seeing some of his highlight film, I was like, oof. I mean, it's high school, but I mean, that obviously coaches know what they can coach up, what skills obviously will, the skill set in general will transfer. But Terrell Kim, I mean, whew, and yeah, I mean, you only get but 6'3", 362. Yeah, if he's protecting your quarterback on the interior, good luck getting there on the interior, right? But yeah, I mean, very, very stoked. I mean, and then Jaden Fortier, looking at his, I mean, as a tight end, what this kid can do. Very, very stoked for ASU football. And like I said, getting because I mean, within the transfer portal, like I said, there was no I mean, well, Raleek Brown, I mean, listen, as a running back, this kid can line up in the slot a lot. Again, also you can throw him in the backfield. I mean, just again, another, running back, a very talented running back for Coach Iguano to work with. So I'm very excited to get, his thoughts on that. And, having a crowded backfield with talent is better than having a light backfield with, maybe one guy. And I know it sounds like I'm overstating the obvious, right? Not fully, but, yeah. So that's where, that's where we are. And tomorrow's signing day. And a lot of guys, some guys will shift tonight. Some guys, I don't know, just in general, you always see recruiting, like a guy all of a sudden, the morning of makes a call to, another coach might, make one last call to plead his case his team's case. And sometimes guys flip, I mean, it's, but transfer portal wise, no, but guys coming in very excited. I mean, look, Chris Johnson the second, even though they said they are, coaches obviously are talking to him, getting, where they're at and trying to get them, set with, like I said, guys that are come early, hey, this is your class schedule. And granted, obviously they've got their seventh spot, getting classes for the spring, where are they going to, and I'm sure obviously on their visits, like, hey, freshman year, live here. This is where you can live, blah, blah, blah. I get all that stuff settled. And like I said, you come in the spring and you do it. And again, being here in the summer would help before school starts. But a lot of guys, again, enroll in are here for the spring, college students, and they'll be here for spring ball. So tomorrow morning, very, very exciting. Very exciting. But yeah, but I'm going to take another quick break. And then when I get back, again, I'm going to talk a little bit more in the men's Northwestern game for the Jerry Colangelo Hall of Fame series at the Footprint Center. Again, you can check it out. The men will be on ESPN2 tomorrow night, but and the women taking on Fresno State during the day. So you can get like a little, lunchtime women's hoops. And then, yeah, but we'll go over all that. But nonetheless, again, this transfer portal has been very interesting. I've enjoyed, looking up at what, again, some of these players have done, and it'll be, like I said, tomorrow morning will be very, very fun. So we'll step aside. But as we do that, speaking of running backs, the punt, pass, and kick champ, the locomotive, as I know him as, I just said he's a locomotive, but Cam Scattaboo. So again, this is what we can expect from Scattaboo, Raleek Brown, guys in the backfield. Hey, this can happen. But yeah, just a memory from this past season in Sun Devil country. All right, back here on Pitchfork Lunch on a Tuesday afternoon. I am Michael Caratino at Diablo00 on X, the artist formerly known as Twitter, is where you can find me, the show. Also, YouTube and Instagram Live, IG Live, able to do it there. So, again, check it out. The YouTube channel, though, if you miss any of the shows, if you missed any of them, and you missed a ton of interviews, and there's a ton more to come. I know I keep telling you, but again, got to work out schedules and timing and all that good stuff. But there's a ton more to come. So go to my YouTube channel. It's at M as in Michael, V as in Victory, C as in Cat 005 at MVC005 on YouTube, and subscribe. Ton of players that I've talked to. Again, we got to know the women's volleyball team and follow their just awesome journey this year for Pac-12 Coach of the Year, JJ Van Niel, and the AVCA Southwestern Region Coach of the Year, JJ Van Niel, first season here. And got a lot of his players that are coming back and going forward in the future. I mean, and we'll see again what they do, in the Big 12. As Big 12 vault, they did, Texas did beat Nebraska, as I mentioned yesterday, 3-0, and the first set was close. The second two, Texas just, as they say, the old adage, they smelt blood, and they just crushed it. But if you but yeah, so I mean, the interviews, they're all there. Players, coaches, Chris Cartman, friend of the program, the publisher of Sun Devil Source for 24/7 Sports. Like, he believe me, this recruiting thing, and yes, they have a network, it helps, in areas, but yeah, it's there. And when we get early recruiting done, definitely going to have him on to go in depth about some of these players, and not just the transfer portal guys, but the incoming freshmen. Yes, it depends on their development, I get that, but who he feels has the chance to come in and play right away, like play right, but like what can contribute right away. And yeah, I get it depends on position, but nonetheless, all on YouTube at MVC005. Subscribe. All right, so hoops wise, the women's team tomorrow is playing, obviously, in the Jerry Colangelo Hall of Fame series at the Footprint Center. So yes, it's a neutral site game, just like the Fort Worth game was a neutral site game for TCU on the men's side. But the women, again, 7-4, 5-2 at home. Unfortunately, dropped their last two at home. But hey, getting right back out on the court, still growing as a team and competing. I mean, yeah, Arizona, again, shot 65% from three. Not an excuse, just fact. Then you're not going to, win a game when team shoots 65% from three and is 57% overall from the field. They do have Fresno State at noon tomorrow. And the Jerry Colangelo, 2023 Hall of Fame series at the Footprint Center. So, at noon. And then they take them on at noon, and then the men play at 6:30, like I said. So, I mean, it'll be a very interesting morning and day as we, like I said, with, early recruiting signing tomorrow, or the early signing period day tomorrow. But yeah, Fresno State on the women's side, the Bulldogs are the Lady Bulldogs are they are 7-5 overall. They're 6-2 at home, 0-3 away from home. Want to know on a neutral site, so I guess this is neutral, but struggling away. Well, they beat Fresno Pacific 70-42. They beat University of California Merced 100-47. Beat Pepperdine 74-55. Beat CSU Bakersfield, or lost to CSU Bakersfield, 65-63. And then they beat Long Beach State 74-64. They lost to Grand Canyon 55-36, common opponent they have with ASU. Both teams lost to. They beat Eastern Illinois 70-60. They lost to Portland State 72-61. And then they beat UC San Diego 71-52, and then lost to Cal State Fullerton 77-68. They lost to Cal Poly 84-59. And then they beat Sacramento State in their last matchup on Saturday, 68-47. So getting back on the winning side, as again, they will again, the game will be on the Pac-12 network, by the way. But yeah, Fresno State, it's a team. The Lady Bulldogs they're averaging 58.9 points per game, but they're being outscored by 61.3 points a game. So again, defensively, look, they got to, I mean, I'm sure Fresno State saw some of the tape, as looked at some of the tape from the Arizona game, but if they're going to hang their head on shooting 65% from 3-point range, and they're a 29.5% shooting team. Now, granted, Arizona was 28%. Happening back-to-back games, okay, not really too much of a thin going out on a thin limb here, saying that it won't happen back-to-back games, but yeah, I mean, they are shooting 29.5% from 3-point range. Their opponents averaging 32.5% against them. So, but look, if ASU gets out in transition, I mean, Coach Adair talked about that. And even, I mean, obviously Adia Barnes from Arizona said that she was, they kind of abandoned going into transition. And yeah, Arizona got back, but there were times that it seemed like they could have definitely, picked up the tempo of the game, to say the least. So, that being said, like I think we will, play within the defense, but I think we'll see more of it to get out there. And Amaya West, by the way, leads is the team's leading scorer. She's averaging 13.4 points a game, and both Yanina Todorova and Amani Lacey are both averaging 10.7 points per game after that. So, again, 3 players in double figures, and also in scoring. And then Amani Lacey also leading the team with 6.2 rebounds a game. So 10 point, just about 11 and 6 a game for Amani Lacey. And like I said, Yanina Todorova averaging 10.7 points per game as well, but she's averaging 4.2 rebounds. But Amaya West, like I said, 13.4 points per game, and she's averaging 5 boards a game as well. So, I mean, it's and Yanina Todorova is the best 3-point shooter out of the 3, shooting 31%. West is at 28.7%, and Amani Lacey at 26.9%. So, free throw percentage as a team, they do shoot 74.7% as a team. So again, once you start getting right there about 75% and up, so it's a team that's, again, if you put them on the free throw line, and for ASU, free throw percentage wise as a team, they are They're at 66.9%. So they're under, yeah. So they're just about 67%. But that, I mean, that's something throughout the season, like I said, that has to go. I mean, again, you want to be at least a 75% where Fresno State's at. Um, but now Jalen Brown took over after her last game. She put in 19. She's leading the team in scoring with 13.8 points per game. She also is averaging 3.4 rebounds a game. So if you're 14 and 3, Jaden Simmons, just 13.4 for her, and um, and 4 rebounds a game. So 13 and 4 for her as well. And you'll take that from 2 players, and then Triana Crisp at 12.3 points per game. And it was like I said, Coach did mention about getting Izzy Sousa back in the lineup. And she played, about 9 minutes the other night. So again, getting, like I said, team staying healthy, getting healthier, knock on wood, is huge for the ladies as they get set to, like I said, take on Fresno State. But yeah, they're averaging 36 rebounds a game to their opponents, 38.4. But they're shooting, like I said, basically 67% from the free throw line. Their opponents are shooting 71. So that's what you have to, again, we have to look at. And on the men's side, how do they bounce back? Two losses, and number 25 Northwestern, again, a very, very tough team to play, and that you match up against. And at a conference, again, Coach really hasn't shied away from playing these games. Like I said, they're 6-4 overall. Free throw wise, 62.2%. And that's the tough part. Like I said, I mean, that needs to get up to 70, and the sooner the better. But individually, yeah, I mean, Adam Miller, did play. The whole thing with the waiver and the lawsuit, and teams getting clarification that there will not be any penalty. They cannot be subject to any penalty because of the ruling. And even if the ruling does get overturned, they will not be subject to any penalty. So, Adam Miller playing, another player to add is absolutely huge. Again, we need to get Sean Phillips Jr. again healthy, and in Zane Meeks as well, and it'll make a big difference. But when we look at, Adam Miller scored 20 points in his first game, so one game averaging 20 points a game, not bad, right? But Jose Perez is at 13. Frankie Collins at 12.7, and Jemiah Neal at 11.3. Rebounds wise for Perez, he's averaging 13 and 5 a game. And then Frankie Collins, like I said, 12.7 and about 6 boards a game. And then Jemiah Neal, same thing, 11, 3 and 6 boards a game. They've had to help out on the boards, and look, these guards have bought it, and they have. Defensively, yeah, you got to make plays. But I mean, from a free throw standpoint, so you cannot be shooting 62.2% from the free throw line while your opponents are just about a 70%. That's a part of the game. Look, and they do work on it. Obviously, Coach talks about it. I know they're not ignoring free throw shots, guys. I totally know they're not ignoring that. But nonetheless, it's it'll be interesting. But yeah, I mean, Northwestern, again, the number 25 team in the country, and Boo, I think his first name is Boo, but I think you say it, it's either Bowie or Bui. And, of course, I'll find out tomorrow. Apologies. But he's averaging 18.1 points a game for them and 3.6 rebounds. He's their leading scorer. And then you have Brooks Barnhizer, that's averaging 13.7 points a game and 7.7 rebounds a game. And then Ryan Langborg, who's averaging 13.6 points per game and 2.8 rebounds a game. But yeah, 13 and it's about 14 and 8 for Brooks Barnhizer for Northwestern. Got to try and contain that, but you got to get rebounds. You can't. Second chance points are crushing. And again with the lack of depth right now in the front court, can't give up those second chance points. You gotta again secure. Again, overseeing the obvious, I know, but secure the rebound. Coach Hurley's talked about that. But you have guys like Frankie Collins and Jemiah Neal, your guards that are, making sure that the guys that are in the front court, whether it be, an Alonzo Gaffney, Brian Celebonge, whoever has, just bodies up their guys so they can come in and get the rebounds, because who cares if they lead in rebounds? Just don't give that team second chance points. And obviously number 25 Northwestern, you really don't need to give them that many points. The team is averaging 73.6 points a game. So, and from the 3-point line, they're shooting 35%. Boo Buie is a 33% 3-point shooter, but Ryan Langborg, again, that's saying averaging 13.6 game. He's a 43% free throw shooter, almost at 44% on the season. So again, closeouts, like Coach Hurley's talked about. So that game though, tomorrow, it is tomorrow. That game tomorrow is at 6:30 local time. And like I said, it's on ESPN2. You can check it out. Also, Arizona Sports 98.7, Sirius XM 392. Not Sirius XM 392. It's on ESPN2 and 98.7 FM. So that being said, but that'll do it for today. So, hey, one more sleep and we'll see all of the kids. Like I said, transfer portal guys, but the early signing period, we will see who has signed what, who has done what, and go from there. So have a great rest of your Tuesday, everybody. Again, hoops coming up tomorrow. Bowl games going on today. If you're checking it out, enjoy the bowl games. But let's enjoy some Sun Devil hoops and get on out there to Footprint Center tomorrow, 12 o'clock, 6:30. Make a fun day of it. It's the holidays. Come on. It's the holidays. Bring the kids out. This time of year, I know school should not be missed, but, this time of year, you're doing it for hoops, hanging out with kids, family thing, and then, you'll be relaxed and then you can, maybe go do some more shopping. There you go. See? Pitchfork Lunch helping you out. Sun Devil Hoops helping you out. So I'm going to get out of here. I will see you tomorrow. Same bat time, same bat channel. One more sleep. We'll see you about the signees. And yes, Pitchfork Lunchers, you know it. As always, forks up.
They score. They tie the game up 2-2.
Some drives out for Robbie Ryan. Her three right on the money. This is Taya Hansen for three. The other side of the rim with a pretty reverse. Wow.